It's the art. It's the tacit knowledge that I have a lot of fear, and that's where I have a lot of anxiety, and we're putting a lot of efforts in now of how to actually start capturing some of the, I mean, we associate the best builders with age. Think about it. It's because they have over time built their own constructopedia of lessons learned and best practices. I'll give you a very specific example. When I was a young project engineer, I was putting in this walk-in freezer on for a kitchen in a hospital. And the general superintendent said to me, well, be sure to prop the door open whenever we did a little topping slab inside when the concrete's curing. And I said, why? And he said, well, the off-gassing will stain the stainless steel. How would I know that? Yeah. You're not going to learn that in a textbook. You're not going to learn that in some self-paced training, or even, I am hopeful that AI can meet you with some of those lessons learned and best practices, but we got to be able to bottle them up. So I was driving in an Uber the other day, and the Uber driver and I got into a conversation, and it turned out he was a master electrician for over 30 years. And he's now driving an Uber. And I said, well, that's great, but why'd you leave our industry? He said, well, I can't get up the ladder anymore. And I said, but what's in your mind we need to activate? We need Uber for construction, where you can call a subject matter expert and know some of that tacit knowledge being delivered on demand.
And I think that's an important piece, that we've relied on the internal brain of experienced workers to help with quality and safety. We are now in an economy and in an environment due to technology where that can be captured into a standard operating procedure, built into technology that has workflows that step somebody through that process. But if we are not realizing that that is a capability for technology, we're letting those individuals retire out. And frankly, most are burnt out.
They are.
It is not for a will of wanting to leave this industry better than when they started, but because the business doesn't recognize the mechanics of capturing that and building that into an SOP.
Absolutely.
We're letting them sit on the sidelines and retire. But I think there's organizations like RO and with individuals like yourself who can focus on that piece of it, of how are we going to capture that knowledge and how are we going to build that into the technology.